In 1988, Die Hard redefined the action genre, and for most people, this movie is about John McClane, the everyman, taking on terrorists single-handedly. Or they see it as a holiday classic that they turn on every year around this time, but in this video, I'm not going to talk about any of that. See, when I think about this movie, there's really only one question that comes to mind, and it's what football game is the terrorist watching at the front desk?
Notre Dame on top of USC.
Oh, shit. Come on, I got $50 bet on them assholes.
Was good for 52 yards.
You don't mind if I take a look around, do you?
We have
Nah, help
7
yourself.
seconds left in this first period. 7-0 Notre Dame. The Irish driving 74 yards in 8 plays with
And while this scene in Die Hard is something that's been written about a lot over the years, all of these articles are asking the wrong thing. They ask, why is Notre Dame playing USC on Christmas Eve, but no one has gone out of their way to figure out what game we are actually seeing. Until now. I saw that most of the articles came to the conclusion that this game is probably the 1987 matchup between Notre Dame and USC, with their best evidence being that in the movie we hear about a 7-0 lead. But to me, and no offense to any of these articles, but this is about as lazy as it gets, because if you listen to the announcer, he says this.
Nah, help yourself.
7 seconds left in this first period. 7-0 Notre Dame. The Irish driving 74 yards in 8 plays.
So it's the Irish who were on top and drove 74 yards to go up 7-0 in this game, and not the Trojans. And if we look at the box score from the game in 1987, it was USC who scored first. So it's not going to be this game. So you would think maybe it was 1986, because looking at the highlights of that game, it looks like USC and Notre Dame are both wearing the same jerseys that we see in our video. But that game doesn't work either, because in that game, USC led off the scoring with a field goal, which doesn't match up with the 7-0 first quarter score that we hear about. So then we should try 1985, but for this one, we can kind of just throw it away, because just looking at the game, the jerseys don't match. In Die Hard, USC is wearing red jerseys and Notre Dame is wearing white jerseys, which is just not what we're seeing in 1985. And it's not like teams can just switch jerseys midway through a game that this could have changed, right? Except that actually did happen in this game, because the Irish wore 2 different uniforms in one game, as their coach Jerry Faust made them switch from navy to green at halftime. But still not the right jerseys, and actually we can be pretty sure that this game in the movie is happening at USC because of this shot of the TV, and I will admit it's maybe not the most clear picture, but it's still enough to see that this is the end zone at the LA Coliseum with the track around the field, not Notre Dame Stadium, and in 1985 the game was in South Bend, so this game is very much out of the running. Moving on from that, we go to 1984. The jerseys are both the same as we see on the TV, and the game is happening at the Coliseum, so we found it, right? Well, let's check the box score, and pretty quickly we can see that we're probably out of luck here, because USC were the first to score in this game, and they didn't do that until the second quarter. And just a reminder, this is what the announcer says.
Do you?
We have
Nah, help
7
yourself.
seconds left in this first period. 7-0 Notre Dame.
So again, we're looking for a game that was 7-0 for the Irish at the end of the first quarter. So as promising as this one may have looked, it's not this game either. Then in 1983, the game of course swung back to Notre Dame Stadium, so we can just skip that game entirely, which brings us to 1982. Both teams are wearing the right uniforms. The game was at the LA Coliseum, so let's check the box score and look what it says happened in the first quarter. Notre Dame drove 74 yards in 8 plays to take a 7-0 lead. Now, where have we heard that one before?
Do you?
We have
Nah, help
7
yourself.
seconds left in this first period. 7-0 Notre Dame. The Irish driving 74 yards in 8 plays.
So we're looking pretty good, but that still wasn't enough for me. I wanted to find the exact moment from the movie, because I've done enough of these videos to know that audio and video don't always match up. And I mean, we were far enough down the rabbit hole now, so I was on the hunt for the 1982 USC Notre Dame game, and for the life of me, I could not find this anywhere. There was maybe a couple of minutes of highlights of this game online, but I needed the entire broadcast, and I had legitimately looked for this for months, when I finally came across a person who had collected over 20,000 sporting events in his personal archive, and it included an impressive amount of Notre Dame football games. So I kindly asked him if he had the specific game that I was after, and well,
This is the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, where some of the most famous sports events have been presented. The Olympic Games, the World Series, the Super Bowl, college and pro football thrillers, and today Notre Dame versus Southern Cal.
So it was time for me to watch this game and find the exact moment now, and the moment we were looking for starts with just seconds remaining in the first quarter when quarterback Blair Keel tried to connect with Tony Hunter on a flea flicker down the middle of the field. And I know what you're saying, that's not the right video, and yes, you're right. We're seeing a replay in the movie, so here it is.
Oh, shit. Come on, I got 50 bucks bet on them assholes.
Was good for 52 yards.
You don't mind if I take a look around, do you?
We have
Nah,
about
help
7
yourself.
seconds left in this first period. 7-0 Notre Dame. The Irish driving 74 yards in 8 plays.
So the TV behind the security desk is showing the reverse angle of the incomplete pass to Hunter, and then it switches to a concessions worker in the stadium throwing peanuts to the Coliseum crowd, and then that's followed up by a run up the gut by Alan Pinkett to finish out the first quarter. So now we have indisputable evidence that the game in Die Hard that the security guard is watching was this November 27th, 1982 matchup between the USC Trojans and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that ended in a score of 17-13 in favor of USC. And that means for Eddie the terrorist working the front desk, if he had bet on the Trojans like his reaction would indicate,
Oh, shit. Come on, I got 50 bucks bet on them assholes.
he more than likely lost his $50 bet, because I went back and looked at the odds from that weekend in 1982, and I'm going to assume that he took USC by the 9.5 point spread. But for him, I guess it wouldn't have mattered much because he wouldn't have been able to cash it anyway. Thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, make sure you like and subscribe, and if you have a sports mystery of your own you want to have solved, make sure you reach out by commenting here, sending me an email, or following me on Instagram or TikTok. Until next time, we'll see ya.